Cursed by the old gods of Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to roam the galaxy until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories digged around, we complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 83.
Ooh.
What? The timid reaction, guys.
I think it's a prime number.
We've been in space a long time.
I kind of want to go home.
4 weeks.
I just don't want to talk about this stuff today.
Did I go home?
Everything is sad.
Wait,
I went back home for vacation.
what?
You know these like little pods over here, or like little ships that can take you?
You
places?
made several ships?
Yeah. Our goal is to find a prison planet.
Yeah.
So we can keep doing that. I figured you'd let me know if you found it, and then I just kind of took a trip back. Did no one notice that I was gone?
No, not really.
Not
really, no.
There were definitely less, like, random screams in the night.
Oh. Yeah, see?
I just wish you never learned that phrase that in space no one can hear you scream, because you think you keep, like, beating space when you keep screaming all the time. It's annoying. Anywho, this is probably confusing to all you who think this is a review show. No. We are, as we said in the intro, we are immortals. We are right now in our plot to help find the old gods who cursed us, to stop Bethany, who also cursed us, because she's meaner. We gotta stop her. But while we travel on this spaceship that Pedro built, we're also going to keep doing what we do, which is to review things. Not only not just anything, the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. Every week, our AI on the ship gives a randomly assigned number, and we review those. And sorry we were away last week, as we perfectly explained in the last episode. We went through an interstellar field, and time moved slower for us. Sure. Isn't that what we were supposed to explain, Pedro?
Yes. So then I just kind of went home.
Fuck you so much. Anyhow, but yeah, it feels like the mood's down. Lee, what's wrong?
Everything's depressing this week.
It's true. It's a very depressing list, really.
Let's just read these titles aloud. Typically, they're to inform what we're reviewing, but even these words are depressing, because the film this week, because we're reviewing the 783rd entry in all these books, the film is Grave of the Fireflies.
The album is Downward Spiral by 9-Inch-Nails.
The food's Nuoc Mam, which is a Vietnamese dipping sauce. It's kind of hard for it to be depressing, really.
Not that many emotions.
Not that many emotions attached, yeah.
The song is Loser by Beck.
The children's book is Red Zora by Kurt Held.
That sounds fun.
Sure does.
We're not reviewing it this weekend.
Nope.
And the TV show is literally called Dead Set. So we gotta bring the charm and the spark of this episode. Let's bring the happiness and the jokes. And let's transition right into that with the trailer for Grave of the Fireflies.
But I listened to an album.
Fine, we'll do that first.
Don't worry, it's real quick. I listened to some album by Napalm Death. Scum. It was stuff. It was meh. Not a big fan.
That's from last week, right?
Yes? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Adam, I agree there are parts of it that you could see as music. I think it still falls within the definition of music. If you pick out individually some of the instrumentalists were doing interesting things, musical things that I might even like in a different setting, but not a fan of the genre, not a fan of the music. And 2.8 henges.
I think you're the highest of
Really?
the 4, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think I just put the stuff on the computer.
Oh.
Or no, maybe the average was like 2.6. So, congrats,
I thought I did.
You bumped up barely.
Sweet.
But yeah, that was Scum last week. For the longer review, check last week's episode. But now, let's transition even better to the trailer of Grave of the Fireflies. Grave of the Fireflies is a beloved anime film from 1988. It is directed by Asio Takahata. It is based off a novel, and it is... Oh boy. You have two siblings who are essentially... They begin the film, timeline-wise, trying to survive fire bombings of their town. And that's where we start linearly with them, as they move across war-torn Japan, literally just trying to survive, and having their mother die in a horrific way early in the film, and more tragedy falls upon them. And as you know from the opening scene, that they too are not fated to have a very long life. It's only 90 minutes, but
rough.
It feels longer just because your heart is so heavy in the whole film. But that doesn't make it bad per se. It's just it's a film you don't watch twice in a weekend, or twice in a year.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Because there is that phrase I believe I always heard on Film Spotting of the one-timer films.
Yeah.
Some of Schindler's List.
And it's funny, yeah. I feel like we actually haven't had one of these yet. Like, because it is, like, Hotel Rwanda is on that list of the one-timers. Schindler's List is often put there. Sophie's Choice is often put there. Of, like, this is a really important movie about how we, do really terrible things to each other, and about and an experience of pain that you might not otherwise be exposed to. And it's an important artistic endeavor that is not fun or entertaining. It's like film exists on a continuum where it tries to both like make a point and be art that sends a message and also entertain. And there are films all the way along that spectrum. And this is in the no fun spectrum. It's no fun. No fun. Only sad. No fun. But great, but sad.
We did cover one of my one-timers, which was Cries and Whispers.
Fuck, yes, you're right. Cries and Whispers is definitely a one-timer.
This podcast broke that phrase. Of course, made me watch it for the second time.
Mm-hmm. And it was terrible.
Oh, yeah. It hurt me more the second time. But
you're right. Cries and Whispers is another one. Although I feel like that one is more of like that because it's an artistic endeavor and less because it's about a thing that actually happened. Like the other ones I mentioned they're very much based on true events. And Greater Than the Fireflies is based on the firebombing of Kobe, which is, many of the generals who practiced in the Pacific Theater have said, had we lost the war, we would have been hung as war criminals. Like, what we did in Japan at the end of World War II was unbelievably horrifying.
And unlike Cries and Whispers, with these siblings, you are supposed to love these characters from the get-go. Cries and Whispers, you get lots of appreciation and empathy for them, but not... You don't want to hang out with them. Whereas these two, the older brother and the younger sister, they're just really well-written kids, because they act like kids.
They're too well-written.
They're too well-written?
It gets infuriating at the end, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. Everything about this film is, just like you guys said, it's really sad, really depressing. It's an example of how we can be horrible to each other as human beings. And that carries through for about the first half of the film. The second half is somewhat charming, somewhat assholery from different people, and a lot of foolishness from this kid that wants to take care of his sister, but doesn't do what maybe an older or more seasoned person would do when he should have. He doesn't get attention when needed. He doesn't swallow his pride when that could probably help. He does a lot of things that seem alright, but aren't. And ultimately, I kind of think if he had been just a little more... I don't know if responsible is the right word, but mature, maybe things would have turned out differently. Probably they would have. Most of the time I found myself angry at him for not doing what he should have been doing.
Do you believe his character would do that? though? Or did you think it was a flaw of the film?
Oh, no. It's definitely like, I can see that being the reality of someone that, wants to take care of his sister and do it his own way.
And just traumatized.
and traumatized, but...
Well, that's the other thing, is, like, he didn't really know what he should do because he was so young himself, and it shows that there weren't any sort of social programs set up in case something like this happened. You were just supposed to go find relatives and hope that they would take you in.
Sure.
It's so interesting because when he's making some decisions that you're kind of referring to, especially when he kind of left the house where he was like basically on the verge of being kicked out, but they kind of left a little bit early. You can see many kind of... I've never lived in Japan, but I've seen a lot of Japanese films, so I get it. But a lot of these films have really interesting and really insightful takes on pride.
Mm-hmm.
And so when... And I don't relate to 100% in the way that he does, in the way he reacts, but like, if you're being a burden on someone, I wouldn't want to stay there, especially when everyone's going through hell. Like, I said, him leaving, him not going back when things were getting worse, that was the level of pride that I couldn't relate to, but I understood it as, I am watching a Japanese film.
Yeah.
This is, especially because they got nothing. I mean, one of the happiest moments in the second half is when they decide, like, to live in a bomb shelter, and the little girl's overjoyed that, like, this could be our front door because they've had, like, nothing of their own. That's so... It's what you can kind of get a hold of because you've watched your home be destroyed. You've watched every connection you had be destroyed. And
sure. Wasn't he kind of kicked out, though? Because, like, didn't they have to start getting their own food and stuff after the lady had sort of her own...
Well, and then once he does, she's, like, pissed at him for, like, sort of spitting in her face about, like, he, like, gets his own stove and, does what he needs to do, and then she's like, they don't even appreciate me or something.
Yeah. I understand where she's coming from. I mean, she has a family, she has to feed them.
She has also being traumatized.
A little bit of that, nationalistic pride that people are doing things for your country, and what are you doing? But, I don't know. I understand where she came from, I understand how it all happened, and I believe it, but it's just frustrating more than, at least to me, more than, like, straight up sad, depressing, if that makes sense.
I guess I found it really tragic because I felt like his behavior was so... the behavior of, a 15-year-old. Like, that's just... Like, the whole thing's a tragedy. Like, he's a kid. Like, he's, like... And, like, those are the kinds of mistakes that kids make, and it's why we don't leave 15-year-olds in charge of, dogs, let alone 4-year-old children. Like, I mean, we're not... He's being expected to do something that is so beyond his capabilities in terms of just, like...
And he did incredibly.
And he does really well until he doesn't, and then it's like, ugh, yeah, that makes... Like, that's it. That's where you fuck up. Is with pride and with... thinking you can do something you're not, and not understanding, not having the experience to understand the severity of your situation, and not, like, that's where you fuck up, and yep, that seems about right.
So, Lee, as we talk about these characters' kind of motivations and actions, you've been famously on the podcast Anti-Kids. Did these kids frustrate you? What did you think when you were kind of watching their journey?
This might be the only movie where I would actually watch it just for the children.
What?
I know.
Who are you and what have you done with Lee?
I found the characters realistic and I found them charming, and I watched it in Japanese, and the voice actor that they got for the little girl, oh my god, she was so perfect.
Oh, feelings.
Like, she was absolutely so perfect, and I believed every single word that came out of her mouth, and the animation style just really enhanced the characters and allowed emotions that are really complex to be portrayed by people that an actor that age wouldn't necessarily get that same nuance. So I think the animation really really benefits the story.
It would have been like I was thinking about that actually because I'm a huge fan of really good child actors, as we've talked about before. But you're totally right. I mean, I think the closest analog that I can think of like a really terrible situation where you've got a child involved. I recently saw Room. That kid is really well done in terms of the way that he's just a very talented child actor, and whoever was doing his direction is super talented at getting him to do what he needs to do. But still, like, if you're going to tell a story where a child is both like a character but also like an important symbol and part of the plot, like the ability of animation to have full artistic control of the way that child is like a huge deal. And it really, you're right. I didn't think about that, but you're totally right. Like if this had been live action, like you'd always be very aware that the kid was a kid. Like I never lose when I'm watching a child actor the idea that there's like an actual 5-year-old in front of me and like thinking about that, whereas you don't think about that when it's animated. It feels very real that this is what this 4-year-old would be doing.
And there was one part of the animation really, because it's my second time watching it, and there's one part where I was just kind of confused on why this was happening. It was kind of in the first half of the film, and they go to the beach, and you see the little girl kind of take off her clothes to go to the beach, kind of have on her diaper, it looked like. I don't know what she had on. But it was like a really like long shot in a way that kind of confused me. I was like, I guess it's a moment of peace, I guess. Like, that doesn't really kind of convey the same film grammar. And then I understood why. It's because later in the film, when she is so malnourished, that torso is now just ribs. And that's it. So, like, you needed the comparison. And that was so painful. Adam, we haven't heard from you yet, but your eyes have been big.
I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. It makes me sad.
Yeah, I think that it's very important, but it is just very sad. And I don't usually find this, but when a movie puts the ending at the beginning, I usually feel like that's pretty effective. But I don't think it was in this case. I think it just kind of...
Oh, I thought it was!
No, it threw me off.
Continue your thought. I want to argue that, though.
I think it colored the movie in a way that I couldn't enjoy the fun parts as much.
That's certainly real. Oh. Everything that's fun in this movie, you go, and then they're going to die at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was a dark cloud over everything, and so, like I said, usually I don't mind, but for some reason this one I feel like would have been better without showing that. I
am almost always with you. I'll let you go first.
I think that showing the ending first, while it does cast a dark cloud over everything, it keeps you kind of focused in the realism of the situation. Because you are constantly thinking, okay, they're fine now, but there's a tragedy coming, and how do they get there? And it's a terrible, gross darkness over the whole movie, but again, it adds realism, and because it's animated, I think there too often is an assumption that all animated movies are going to have a happy ending. Because they're targeted towards children, because animations traditionally are, So I feel like having that ending at the beginning shows you that, no, this is not for fucking kids. This is for adults, and you need to sit down and watch this.
I think, too, like, there are so many movies like this, live action and animated, and this is one of them that has this sort of, like, let me see if I can get this genre right, and I bet we could all think of, like, 5 movies in this genre. Like, children in a horrible situation who experience some sort of magical wonder in the world around them and find beauty in the midst of sadness, right? Like, there's 1,000 of those, right? And this movie, I think, without starting where it started, would have been that. And instead, it's very... Yeah, the cat is just on that mic, isn't she?
Why did we take her to space?
She's just right there.
Wait, what?
The rats in the spaceship. That makes sense.
Space rats.
All up on this mic. Anyway, I think part of what the movie is doing is playing with that trope, which, I mean, you want a medium that has a lot of those stories, watch a lot of anime. There's tons of those stories in Japanese animation. And to just say, from the beginning, nope. This is about how everything that you're seeing here is going to be dwarfed by a very... And not just, their deaths are not heroic. They don't die for anything. From the beginning, it's these kids are going to die for nothing. And no one is going to remember them. And this movie is about their deaths. It's not about their lives. While the whole movie is centered around them being alive and they don't die till the end of the movie, the point is these are children that we lost. The point isn't look at how wonderful kids are, which is so often the point of these kinds of stories. The point is, yeah, that's great, isn't it? Well, they died of malnutrition in a train station because war is hell and humans are terrible to each other. And again, I never want to watch this movie again. This was not a good movie for me. I work and for a long time lived in what is basically a war zone in inner city Chicago where teenagers die and children die on a regular basis from gun violence. This was not a good time for me. People should be there with this pain because the reality is unbelievably terrible. So watch it. But yeah, it's gonna get you.
Yeah, I see the beginning a lot as a bit of a kindness. When you have these kind of formats of in media res there to tell you the whole time you're watching how are we going to get to this radically different point? The Breaking Bad pilot, he's doing a crazy thing with his pants off. He's just a teacher now. How are we going to get there? This is wanting you to think about this during the whole thing, and it's a really powerful film. And this was made through Studio Ghibli, but it wasn't Miyazaki. He's gone on to make a couple other really good films, but nothing as.
And this guy has also gone on to make a couple of really good films. I'm gonna IMDb him because he's got some other really amazing things.
Only yesterday, finally got a U.S. release after about 25 years, and that was really good. And The Tale of Princess, can't ever pronounce it, is a really beautiful looking film. But this
Kaguya?
Yes. That's it.
Or Kaguya?
Yeah. Really beautiful. But this, it's something where... Something I kept thinking about during the movie was just a reminder, especially as... the whole country seems to... The whole world seems to be at war with each other in different ways. That when people are at war, Nazis excluded, it's really often leaders versus leaders.
Yeah.
The countries with some of the worst leaders can still have the most wonderful people. There's so much incredible art coming out of Iran in 2017. And the Iranian government are full of assholes.
Sorry, I really love the names of animes. I'm just gonna do a fun thing. You go back and you're Only Yesterday's amazing. The Tale of Princess Kaguya. You go back in his line and it's Panda! Go Panda! Or Panda Go Panda! Rainy Day Circus! And it's
oh my god.
Yay!
Those are
super dark.
So many pandas die.
So many. Just so many.
They're screaming for the panda to go and it doesn't. It just gets slaughtered.
A lot of pandas.
So many poachers. But, with this thing, and I think sometimes it takes a while for culture to get it. Out of nowhere, Clint Eastwood made Letters from Iwo Jima, which depicted not only Japanese people during the war, but Japanese soldiers who were fighting against Americans as really heroic and special and tragic people. We've covered Das Boot, which was a German soldier during World War II. Only one was a Nazi, but again, it's these films are harder to make because it brings so much empathy to a climate we try to ignore. So when we say we should invade this country, we try to just imagine that they're all Nazis when they're not. And these films matter because these kids do anything wrong. And even when the boy finds out that the war is over and they surrendered. I mean, they surrendered to the United States of America.
After we dropped 2 nuclear bombs on 2 populated cities.
But he's just
tens of thousands of people.
Hundreds of thousands of people. And the reason that he was so angry was it just, in that moment, you never saw him angry or realized, like, what the fuck was this all for? Mm-hmm. Like, I thought we were all enduring to at least win this, to at least have Japan be in a better place. Yeah, this is a film that, if you haven't seen it, I think we have accidentally convinced you to not see it, but that is not what we're doing here.
Don't watch this, it's sad. 0 henges.
No, watch.
This one is, regularly described as the most depressing anime of all time, and I have to agree. It lived up to that title.
Yeah. Huh. There are other World War II animes that I have seen. This one is the most depressing.
I'll go for say probably the most depressing animated film I've ever seen.
It's true.
Because no one say Bambi. Shut up. That's the first 5 minutes. Then it's fine.
And whatever. Like, his mom dies. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's a cute rabbit.
Bambi doesn't die.
No. Wait, what?
Bambi doesn't die, right? That's not a thing?
No.
Okay.
It's Bambi's mom dies by Man. That's the character's name. And then it's all cute. Actually, Up.
If it was just the first 10 minutes.
Well, to me, the rest of the story is because every one of his actions is devoted to his dead wife. So
nope, this is worse. This is so much worse.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 children dying from starvation is worse.
I think Up gets second.
Maybe.
I think it's more depressing ones later, guys. Don't worry.
Okay. I think just Grave of the Fireflies just gets top 5 all by itself.
Also, Grave of the Fireflies. Also, Grave of the Fireflies. That's like the top of them. Yeah.
It's literally called Grave of the Fireflies.
I mean, yeah. Like,
it's the only bug that everyone thinks is cute except for ladybugs.
It's so true.
And oh my god, that scene!
God, it's really rough. Like,
that was,
yeah, the whole thing's fucking rough. I can't deal.
Well,
can we stop talking about this?
I'm done. I don't want to talk about it
anymore. Let's just get some hinges, and then we'll carry it forward. I'm going to give this 4.8.
4.7 or something.
I'll do 4.7 as well.
4.5.
4.5.
Alright, that is Grave of the Fireflies. Check it out. Don't watch it with children.
Yeah.
Do.
Fun fact.
With the right age.
What?
Jeez.
Well, is it...
No.
This would be like a great social studies type thing to show your kids right now in the World War II segment. Be like, by the way...
But the right age. Don't just do the whole Studio Ghibli line and go right from the pig in the plane to this.
8th grade.
No.
8th grade's fine.
This was actually shown as a double feature with My Neighbor Totoro for obvious reasons.
Okay, but
maybe 7th grade.
Yeah, which went first?
Grave of the Firefly.
Oh.
Yep.
And you don't want that to be the second film.
I think
My Neighbor Totoro is the
you start low
palate cleanser.
High, yeah.
I love My Neighbor Totoro, but if I watched it right after, I was keep thinking about Grave of the Fireflies the whole time. Because when you watch 2 kids without a mom.
I guess.
Situation, yeah. But anyway, Grave of the Fireflies. Check it out. It's really good. Lee, what did we listen to pick ourselves up from Grave of the Fireflies?
The wonderful mood booster of Downward Spiral by 9-Inch-Nails. this album came out in 1994 and is Nine Inch Nails' second studio album. It is dark and depressing and about a lot of heavy stuff. Yeah.
So, many episodes ago, when we reviewed the song Hurt, which is on this album.
Yep.
Yes.
I think I talked about how that was basically my first proper, Nine Inch Nails, looking at it. I've sure heard a song in the background, but never really thought about it. Do you have a history with this band, Lee?
I've actually seen them live. They were on, I forget what album it was, when they were on tour in 2007, 2008, when Bauhaus opened for them. I actually saw them live. It was a fantastic concert. It was really entertaining. It was after Trent Reznor decided to stop doing drugs and decided to become a beefy man made of muscle. So it was a little disjointed for me because I hadn't seen him really since he was all cocained out. So,
is this one of the better albums, do you think, in their discography?
I would say if you want to get introduced to Nine Inch Nails, this is definitely a good album to start with. It hits a lot of different things that they're kind of about. Lots of heavier, definitely electronic sounds, like synthesizers and things like that, and they do a lot of cool things with layering sound. Trent Reznor, who's actually Nine Inch Nails, and then other random people come in and out of Nine Inch Nails. There's a whole Wikipedia article, just the list of Nine Inch Nails band members. So, but yeah, Trent Reznor really likes to play with layers and sounds and having things that are discordant sometimes to make a new, different, deeper sound. And I think this is a really good album to start with because it gives you some of that, but it also gives you some of the mainstream stuff that you've definitely heard before, such as Hurt or Closer. And
obviously I recognized Hurt because we reviewed it, and I had heard that one before. Everything else was actually new to me. And
interesting.
The album begins with Mr. Self-Destruct, which I did not like at all. But I was not an angry album, more okay, here we go. Here's another angry album. But then, I found Piggy to be so interesting. I was really liking how it wasn't just, anger and loudness. It was something that we kind of, maybe I just dismissed too much. But that's why I kind of kept hearing in so much of these, more metal or darker albums we review. But then especially the song March of the Pigs, which was really interesting and really profound, and then, turned off all the angry noise in, the last few seconds. It made this, very quiet, simple beat to, really hit home the song. I was you're looking at what you're upset about in a way that so many other bands we've listened to have not been able to articulate. And I'm not articulating very well right now, which is not a good representation, but I really liked this album much more than I thought I was going to.
No, I definitely agree. A lot of what we have listened to that kind of falls into this genre is just loud and noisy, and everything is coming all at you at once. Whereas this, it has those interesting layers, and I am not much of one of those type of people, you have to have $300 headphones to listen to this, and blah, blah, blah. Most of my earbuds come from the dollar store. I don't care. But I would recommend listening to this album with a good stereo setup. I was listening to it on just laptop speakers earlier today, and it didn't sound good. It sounded tinny and gross and awful. And then I listened to the same exact album on really nice speakers, and you could hear the different layers, and it was coming at you in different directions, and it was really cool, and it added a lot more. It added a lot more interest to the album that you don't get on crappy speakers.
Pedro, did you hear it?
I did.
What did you think?
I liked it. So obviously I like Hurt. Talked about it a lot at whatever episode that was. I'm not really actually okay. I was
because you like Nine Inch Nails, right? Or Trent Reznor?
I never followed them. I don't know anything about Trent Reznor except that a lot of people like him for whatever reason.
You saw Tron Legacy twice in theaters.
Yeah, so
that was.
Did you do that? That was Daft Punk.
Yeah,
so I forgot random beloved music people who randomly did a music soundtrack.
He did the soundtrack for the American version of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, and Social Network.
Yeah,
and he won an Oscar for Social Network.
As it should have. That's amazing.
It's fucking amazing. But yeah, there's Trent Reznor at the Oscars is like one of my favorite things about my favorite Oscar moments.
Sorry,
he looks super out of place.
This was a horrible tangent because he did not do Tron Legacy. But I will make fun of the fact that you saw it twice in theaters.
Oh yeah.
Didn't tell me until we saw it together and revealed it was your second time.
Yeah,
but go on.
It was a great film.
No, it's not.
No, I was actually more disappointed.
Oh.
I liked the album as a whole. There were a lot of songs that I liked, but I found myself wanting the song to move along more often than I had hoped. If that makes sense.
There are a couple. I mean, if the average song is about 3 minutes long, there are a lot of 6+ minute songs.
There's just some. It wasn't length necessarily. It was just the kind of sound I couldn't take for too long straight and still just enjoy it. It would draw its attention back to itself, which isn't always something I like with a song. At least not for the right reasons.
I think that was kind of his intention, though.
Sure.
This album is definitely about a lot of deep, dark thoughts and problems like suicide and self-harm and things like that. So I feel like making you uncomfortable is part of what he was trying to get.
That's totally fair. It just didn't hit with me. I didn't dislike it because I felt discomfort. It was more just I'm not liking this, not in any deep emotional way. Just, I don't like it.
It's kind of
for only parts of it. The album on the whole, I actually really liked.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Now, I didn't think about this until we're now discussing this right after Grave of the Fireflies, because, what is the best way to kind of discuss the hard topics? We've learned Napalm Death. Perhaps not the best. That's maybe not the best way to really kind of emotionally connect your feelings. But for me, it's something that does. But if you want to discuss death from firebombs or suicide, you need a really delicate artistic hand to do it. And I think it's bound to not work for everyone in every circumstance because it has to hit that balance. Am I talking my ass?
No, it makes sense.
I didn't know where I was going when I started.
I wasn't really listening to lyrics. I didn't really know what anything was actually about, but I got the gist.
At least you're consistent.
Yep.
I think just, even if you don't listen to another song on the album, I think just listening to Hurt gives you a really nice tone of what the album is kind of talking about.
That's sort of what I took as my baseline.
Hurt is such a good song.
And what an interesting thing to end with that song, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 13-song album. And,
it's a good closer, though.
Yeah, it kind of
and Downward Spiral leads up to it.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor knows what he's doing when it comes to music.
All the lyrics and everything. I mean, it's a wrap up. It's literally yep. Now what?
Yeah. Are you ready for Henges?
I think so.
Sure.
What do you say, Lee?
I'll give it a 4. It's not necessarily my type of music, and not necessarily something that I will return to immediately, but I think this album is definitely worthwhile, especially if you like interesting audio.
I'm going to give actually a 4.5, because I actually really do want to return to this and kind of see what he's talking about more.
I'll give it a 4.1. I liked it. It's good working music.
All right, that is The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Now it's time for I'm just going to say.
Is it fingernails or hammer nails?
I think hammer nails. 9 Inch Nails.
I have always assumed fingernails.
I've always assumed fingernails.
I've always assumed hammer nails.
I always
the hammer nails makes way more sense.
Dude, are 9-inch nails like something like
is that like
goes to the coffin?
Thing?
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up.
Maybe that's the coffin to like.
Wow, I've never had this thought before.
I was thinking Jesus thing.
Yeah, some sort of like dark thing. Actual. Yeah, that all makes sense, but I didn't think of it.
I never got people.
Maybe it's the nail salon that Trent Reznor's mom owned when he was younger. Isn't that cute?
It's probably
That's a cute story.
Wikipedia says that Trent Reznor chose the name because 9 Inch Nails was easily abbreviated.
Good.
What a mini.
Anyway.
What are we eating today, and how does it tie into death?
You know what? Actually, straight up doesn't. We're eating.
All right, next topic.
We're eating Nuoc Mam, which is a Vietnamese dipping sauce. I bought some shitty spring rolls to eat it with because, they're vegetarian. Okay. The sauce does have fish sauce in it. I don't know how you feels about fish sauce.
Not good about it.
You're not feeling good?
I'll pass.
Okay.
You can still have a spring roll if you want.
Oh, you want a spring roll?
Yeah.
If somebody wants, there's an egg roll to do the dipping with instead. I would like a spring roll.
I'll do this.
That's a spring roll, yeah. Spring rolls are probably shitty. I bought them from shitty Chinese restaurants. But so Nuoc Mam is a classic Vietnamese dipping sauce. It's served with like pretty much everything, as far as I can tell from the internet, that isn't pho. That's Vietnamese. And it only has 4 ingredients. It's basically water, lime juice, sugar, and fish sauce. And I put some garlic or chilies usually as well. And it's like for dipping spring rolls and shit. It's kind of all it is. Those are sort of like the central, flavors of Vietnamese cooking. So, if you taste this, you're tasting a lot of Vietnamese-ness.
Sarah, I'm improving. I took a baseline bite of the egg roll, so I just know what the egg roll tastes like. So I can then do this.
You'll taste the sauce. I mean, it's very slimy.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to do this right.
It's like that weird, bright red, sweet and sour stuff that you see.
Yeah.
All over the place. It's like a better version of that.
I think that stuff is probably partially, based on a cheap imitation of this. It's funny. I whisked it together, as you will probably be able to hear on the tape, let's be real. And I sort of didn't know what it was going to taste like, but because it has so few ingredients, but it really is, better than the sum of its parts. When I was putting it together, I was like, this is just limeade with fish sauce in it. This is weird. But it's better than the sum of its parts. It's really...
It is. I mean, you definitely taste the lime elements.
Yeah, and probably I put a little bit too much lime in it.
But I think it's okay, because I like lime as well.
It's got fish sauce is such an interesting ingredient, right? Because fish sauce is just... It's anchovies all, ground down into a sauce. So it's, oily fish. It's basically just, umami in a bottle. And it's, when I discovered fish sauce and the idea that you could put it in stuff, and that is what made great Asian food taste so good, I remember feeling like a fucking genius. But this is very much, has that element of it is, it would just be, basically lime juice, but then there's fish sauce in it, and magic happens.
That is pretty cool.
Also, the dog is here and wants to eat everything, but mostly your egg roll, Austin. She's smiling at the egg roll.
You'll get it eventually.
Bringing her to space was a choice.
Was a choice we made. I mean, at least we have the little airlock, and she can stick her little butt out and poop into space.
That's what you've been doing to her?
Yeah, I mean, you just put it her half in, half out, and she's poops into space.
Her butt's so cold all the time.
Oh, poor cold butt. She's okay. She warms up.
No, she sits on your lap, and oh boy.
Yeah, it's something. It's certainly a something. But yeah, I like this stuff. I when I was looking it up, I was surprised at how easy it is to make. I've definitely had it at Vietnamese restaurants as the dipping sauce for spring rolls. That's what it's for. But it's a food. And because it's so widely used in Vietnamese cuisine, I don't know that I think it's super special, but at least it's indicative of a cuisine,
Yeah. This is weird, and once again, barely a criticism. It's a sauce that I like, but I kind of want it already on a dish, Because right now, like, with my egg roll...
Oh my god, criticisms are hilarious.
I like it, but I don't want to dip it for every bite of the egg roll.
I gotcha.
So, like, whereas fries and ketchup, not that this is worse than ketchup at all, but, like, typically you want, like, it's just kind of the habit. You just kind of, usually, like, every fry, you get a piece of ketchup. This one, I don't think you want that as, like, every millimeter of your food is covered in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I would like a nice dish where that is, like, spread all over at once.
Yeah. That's real.
So that's my nuanced criticism.
It's fucking delicious. Yeah, I like it. I think by itself, like, it is definitely, like, a very good accompaniment to a cuisine I really, really like.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that, like, I'm such a fan of Nuoc Mam that I want to, like, make it in everything that I ever eat and, like, pour it all over everything. Or, like, a 3.8.
Would it be too much to put this on fish?
No, I actually was thinking that I was...
I wouldn't mind putting this on, like, a nice...
I was actually thinking that I would...
Some, like, fish and rice? Like,
yeah. No, that's real. I mean...
But not sushi. But, like, fish and rice.
Not sushi.
Yeah. What's your henge?
3.7.
Okay.
Ooh,
Pedro, so?
3.9.
Win, what's your henge? That's the dog, guys. The dog is, like, staring at all of us and the food.
Yeah.
Adam, do you want to, like, try a little with your finger?
Nope.
Well, no, it's the
right,
sauce
it's in the sauce. That's the problem.
That's the
Right.
sauce.
How's that spring roll?
It's alright.
Yeah. It's all
bad.
All right, that
it was
is...
the only Chinese takeout place that would deliver to the,
Space.
This
is a Nuoc Mam.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Sweet.
About what I said.
Try it out. It tastes good. Now, Pedro, give me some words of encouragement.
You're a loser. So, why don't I just kill you?
Maybe.
The song is Loser by Beck. Loser was written by Beck, and it came out in '93, I believe. Beck, American, right?
Yes.
I keep forgetting if it's a person or not.
Can you not get Wikipedia in space?
I did, but then I forgot. Anyway, everyone knows this song. You've heard it before if you've ever turned the radio on or seen things that go on the TV. I'm sure it's been in movies, TV shows. It's a well-known song.
I had never seen the music video before.
You've never seen the music video before?
I now have.
It's
stupid.
Yeah, there's nothing happens. I don't know. I like the song. I like it a lot more than Devil's Haircut. That opening guitar bit is famous. Everyone knows it. Like, right off the bat. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this. I like the song. It's fun. It's not, like, earth-shattering, but I understand why it's on the list, and it should be on the list.
Isn't this the Beck song that, like, wasn't supposed to be a real song that he just, like, fucked around with?
I think, like, the rap scenes and stuff, you, like, just sort of did on the spot, sort of thing. Like, they didn't practice it or anything.
No, right,
I'm
being reminded by looking at the Wikipedia article, but basically, yeah, he, like, this was originally, like, literally just a stupid riff he did between sets at a concert to, like, amuse the audience.
And then it worked.
And, like, everyone loved it, and so that was a thing. It's like, Loser's like the anti-Beck song. Like, it doesn't sound like anything else that Beck does, but it's one of his most famous songs, if not his most famous song.
I think it's his most famous.
Probably is.
So, I listened to this again seconds after finishing the Downward Spiral.
And Beck doesn't like it. That's the other thing that's funny about Loser, is Beck is like, this song isn't that great.
He's a Scientologist, it's okay.
But that's also the artist thing, right? I hate my most popular thing.
Right, I mean, it's like literally something he dashed off, like, while working on his real art. Mm-hmm. I get that.
And it made him a slacker icon, which he also didn't like. It's like,
yeah, back. Which is like not Beck. Like that's not like.
But hearing this right after 9-Inch Nails, which is not fair to the song, but I think it is a decent question. Is this an upsetting song? And more importantly, why isn't it?
I don't get upset by it. Because like it's just like the general kind of. I don't see it as like a tragic kind of lost loser. I think it's more of just. I don't know. Let's go this way, or do it's just.
Is sort the whole song like? I don't think it's upsetting, but like.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's sarcastic, or meant to be kind of defiant. It's like, well, if I'm a loser, then why don't you just kill me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm working this out because I don't think it's upsetting at all. It's super catchy and fun. He repeats over and over again, I'm a loser, baby, why don't you kill me? So, like, he's saying he's not. He's a triumphant, awesome guy is what the song's saying.
I mean, he might be, like, making fun of himself, like the character, I guess, that is this person. Maybe he's, I don't know, being sarcastic about his own life? I'm not sure. It's not... I don't get anything depressing out of this. That's just general consensus.
Have wondered until, like, literally this podcast, what the line before I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me is.
It's Spanish for
I'm
a
loser.
Loser.
It's a Spanish for I'm a loser, and I have heard that line as so many other things. That's gotta be one of those lines that, like, I used to hear it like, oh, I'm head to toe? Like, I never known it was Spanish until I looked at the lyrics, like, literally 15 minutes before we recorded.
Now, until I looked at the lyrics... I thought that what he said in Spanish was not soy un perdedor with an OR at the end. I thought it was yo soy un perdido, because I'm one who is lost. I'm a lost one. And I thought that was much more poetic.
Right, but no.
And he's just like, I'm a loser.
Yeah, fuck
guys.
you, yeah.
So why don't you kill me? Yep.
I actually really love the lyrics of the song. Like, it's got like a weird... It's got a weird, like, modernist, nihilist shit going on. It's cool.
There's not,
I like it.
One central thing, right? It's just a bunch of like fun verses, couple verses that like just kind of come out.
Yeah, it's just shit he's saying. That's pretty much all it is. That's like a really catchy song.
It is.
Like,
it's a lot of fun. It's extremely catchy.
It's a staple of alternative radio stations across the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those songs I feel like that caught on just because sometimes a piece of music catches on, and like it just kind of does, and everyone's like, "Yeah, this is a song I want to listen to." I don't know. That seems like really pat, but it is sort of random sometimes.
Like, when it comes on, I'm never upset, and I'll rarely, maybe like less than 20% chance that I'll turn the station and actively decide to listen to something else. If I'm just listening to the radio and the song goes on, I'm like, cool, alright, let's do it.
Yeah.
Just kind of bob my head.
That's real.
Sing along.
This is a fun one that, like, I'm awful at remembering lyrics, but this is a fun one to, like, mumble along to and make up your own lyrics.
Oh, definitely. And I feel like that's the point of the song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone involved in the making of this song would be sad to hear that no one was listening to the lyrics particularly carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We ready to henge?
I'm ready to henge.
I feel like I am.
Henge it up.
Alright, cool. 4.3.
4.
4.2.
3.7.
4.
Cool.
Alright, that is Loser by Beck. Now it's time for the Children's Book segment, which we already teased. We don't have.
Correct.
Adam, what is it?
It's Red Zora by Kurt Held.
Is it in English?
No.
Alright, next segment. One day we'll find a translation. Probably. If Mary...
Otherwise you never get to die.
Mary can get her shit together.
You could just learn the language. I think maybe like...
You have the time.
One or 2 years tops of like intense study and you'd be able to read almost anything.
I just got a CNN alert that we're entering our 6th mass extinction, so I'm not going to bother with learning a new language. Thanks, though.
Is that a real thing that really popped up on your phone? That's really delightful, CNN. I hate you a lot.
Well...
We're not going to go extinct, though. That's the whole point of
we're
this.
immortal. So, sorry, rest of the planet.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisy.
We're not even on the planet.
Good point.
Yeah, but they're the ones listening.
Are they?
Someone probably is. Bank on it. Anyway, Red Zora, If anyone translates it to English, just shoot it off to space and we'll give it a read. But now it's time for the TV show segment, which is Dead Set.
This live broadcast is about to go.
What's going on up?
Dead.
Eyewitnesses describe dead or injured people apparently attacking one another.
Something is wrong! What?
The cameras ain't moving. Big Brother ain't watching us.
Trust me. Outside, it's a bad idea.
How bad?
We are trapped in here.
Something's happening. Some sort of outbreak. For all we know, we're all there is.
So Charlie Brooker is one of my favorite TV creators. It's hard to kind of call him like a showrunner because he does so many different kind of things for TV. He's best known before this as kind of a Jon Stewart of the UK who had a regular series of shows, not all year like Jon Stewart had, where it was every week, but he'd go for a couple months in a row criticizing media, politics, video games, art, kind of doing that kind of great criticism with irreverence and humor and a bit of genius. He worked on lots of very beloved shows like Nathan Barley, but it was kind of this where he was kind of seen more as like what else he can do. This is in many ways a precursor to his beloved anthology series Black Mirror, which is a modern day Twilight Zone-like show where it's not anti-technology but does criticize how we use technology in a variety of different ways. Dead Set can be seen as a Black Mirror episode 0, for it is a 5-part zombie miniseries where the zombie apocalypse takes place during a season of Big Brother. It is not a Big Brother-like show. It is actually UK's game show Big Brother. And so many of the people on screen are the actual...
Oh, really?
Except for the current cast. A lot of the old cast members are all former contestants and current hosts of Big Brother. So
that's awesome.
Who get zombified. And
clearly have a great time with it.
Yeah, and it is not as comedic as that sounds. In fact,
yeah, it's not funny.
In fact, it looks visually a lot more like the TV series Unreal, which is the dark look at a Bachelor-like show behind the scenes. So yeah, this is 5 seasons as
5 episodes.
5 episodes.
It's real short.
Super short. No more than 3-4 hours total.
Yeah.
I think it's more like 2.5.
2.5. Yes, so short.
They're really short. Yeah.
And also, this is something that came out before The Walking Dead. So, zombies on TV. What a crazy idea. What if that will work? Yes, it worked really, really well. Walking Dead's huge. I had seen this before, and I rewatched most of it. I feel dumb not rewatching all of it, but I was distracted by something else.
Mm-hmm. Space.
The Final Frontier.
Just kept looking and is that a pale blue dot? Guys, it's a pale blue dot.
We're way too far away.
Stared at that for a while.
That's a start.
Fuck. But it meant so much to me. But we'll talk to someone who has seen it before. Let's start with Adam.
I was riveted the whole time. It was pretty much it was a little darker than I expected, but it's exactly what I wanted in a show. I think that some of the commentary was a little light. I would have liked to see.
I agree.
Yeah.
More of what it means to be, because all the characters were pretty smart and they acted pretty reasonably. And I'm not saying I want people to act stupidly in that situation, but it did seem like a fairly, though good, run-of-the-mill zombie situation.
I agree. I was a little disappointed because the premise is so good that I had extremely high hopes, probably unrealistic hopes. And it's really fun, but that's about all it is. I was not as enamored of it as I expected to be.
I think there's a lot lost not having seen or grown up with Big Brother and known those characters.
I think that's true. I think if this was Tyra Banks,
but those old cameos died in the first episode.
But even so, like, I feel like if it was Tyra Banks in the first episode, like, I would have been more invested, like, just because, like, you know, like, that's sort of the point, is that it's supposed to feel very real.
Well, I, would, to speak to Adam's point, it did not have the satire, the commentary of Black Mirror, which is going to do, you know, 5 years later, but it reminded me a lot more of the level of commentary you saw in George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, where that is the one where they decide to hold themselves off in a shopping mall. So it is a fun commentary on consumerism every once in a while, but not like every plot point brilliantly satirizes consumerism in a new way. Right. It's sort of like to constantly be around it means something. And in many ways, this was just looking to be a good zombie story with this backdrop. And Big Brother, which I've never seen an episode of, but I know the premise, where it's basically a competitive version of the real world. But the thing that really makes it work for this show is that they are isolated. When they're in the house, they can't leave the house until they've, you know, either kicked out or they win. So there is that kind of those great moments in the first episode when the world's gone to hell and they don't know. Mm-hmm. And the great thing that what makes them not know is that the cameras aren't following them. And they kind of like, you see their attitudes change when they realize they're not being watched, which is so wonderfully ironic because it's called Big Brother.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they want to be watched. That's why they're on the show.
Right.
So once they stop, why are you doing this if the whole world isn't caring about you? And I liked the actors who played the cast members because I think maybe it's only real satire about those kind of contestants was the older douchebag. Because
he was fun.
We've all sat on the couch going, oh god, if I was on The Bachelorette, I would just critique the whole structure, and I'm going to say that this is a baloney, a false statement. It turns out that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, no one likes that guy.
And a hypocrite. Mm. And I liked that element of, like, don't punch down. You could mock the two people, but
you're here too. Like, fuck you.
Oftentimes, like, some of the two people, like, when one of the producers holds herself into the room to get away from one of the zombies, and they realize that she's from the outside, he asks her, am I popular? People out there like me. Basically, have I made the last month of my life worthwhile, aka the rest of my life worthwhile? Like,
right.
Am I even liked out there? It was such a sad little, like, quiet whisper.
And the answer is no. No one likes that dude.
No one likes the dude, and also...
Wait, I thought the person that asked if they liked him was the
that was doing pretty well.
Oh, wait, that wasn't I thought that was the...
He was the guy who dragged along. Yeah. But that's interesting stuff. And, I mean, holding up the producer with the contestant he secretly hated, not the sharpest satire, but it is some good fun. And if you like it, a really long poop joke.
But he's also just a lot of fun to watch being a terrible person.
Yeah, he's worse than contestants, which is part of the satire.
He's awesome.
But I don't know. You guys talk more.
I mean, I don't have much else to say.
Yeah.
It's not
as deep as you hope.
It is, like, it's kind of shallow. I mean, like, if you're, like, honestly, like, if you want something to watch on Halloween next year, like, this is a really good choice. Like, it's spooky, it's a scary zombie story.
It actually is filmed scary.
It's filmed scary.
It's not something like a comedy.
It's kind of gruesome. Like, in a good, like, shock horror way that I appreciate. But I wanted this to be so much more than it was, because it's such a good idea. And it never is. None of the characters really grab me. I don't care about any of them. Like, it's not a bad show. There's enough in the basic idea of it to, like, make me say, like, hey, next Halloween, watch this for 2.5 hours. It's good times. But, like, yeah.
It is another show to recommend for people who love Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, Riz Ahmed's great. I mean, like, he's always great. Yeah, but that's kind of it. I actually, he's one that I was more interested in his storyline than I was in everything else, and they didn't really do anything with it. Because
he's trying to get back to this girl that I wasn't really that interested in, and then we know she's cheating on him with.
Right.
It was kind of harder to
and it
root
doesn't
for
really
his
have
thing.
like a payoff. I don't know.
Although there was the element of the cheating was fun when that guy becomes a zombie first.
Yeah,
the two women he's sleeping with are the ones having like fend him off that he's the worst dude in the world.
Yeah.
So that visually was fun. I was talking about Charlie Brooker because only one more show's on the list.
I know you love shows.
Which is Black Mirror, which is just incredible.
Right. Black Mirror's amazing.
But he doesn't do as much of the Jon Stewart at the desk things anymore because he's doing too many things, aka making Black Mirror for Netflix. But every year he still does a thing called 2016 Wipe, 2015 Wipe.
So good.
His hour and a half wrap up of the year is just like
the best thing ever.
Comedy gold. And also, I really want this to go on Netflix because this is the best thing in the world. He made an airplane-like spoof of detective shows called A Touch of Cloth, starring John Hannah, a.k.a. Batiatus from Spartacus.
Yes!
And the shitty brother-in-law in The Mummy, who's just the worst, which is such a great role.
Same guy. Yep. This is a show that, TBS tried to do with Agent Rebecca. Weirdly, both shows had the same joke in both pilots, but while Agent Rebecca is fun, it does not reach the level of utter genius that A Touch of Cloth did. Especially because when you get actors like John Hannah and Suzanne Jones and a couple others who are treating the dumbest lines in the world like Shakespeare, there is no one winking at the camera, despite the fact
because that's the beautiful thing about John Hannah. He will treat anything you give him like shit. Like, he will care so much about whatever bullshit role you give him. It's great stuff.
He has a fake boner in most of the first episode, and he is still, like, crying while talking of how emotional he is.
It's so great.
That's great. Charlie Brooker, just, it's funny.
But this is not his best thing.
It's not the best thing, but it's a good thing. It's
fine.
It's like some middle-of-the-line Hitchcock.
If you really want to hate someone at the end, you got two perfectly good candidates. And just kind of walk away with that nice, like, healthy little amount of hatred for a person.
If The Walking Dead didn't exist, it'd be way more popular because
I agree.
A ton of people were just jonesing for zombies on TV. And this one did it a few years first, and then that's it.
Yep.
It's because it wasn't like a 10-season thing.
I know. It actually had a story that ended.
Is Walking Dead still happening?
Oh, yeah.
How far are they on now?
There's a spinoff still happening.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that never ended.
Alright.
Anyway, Dead Set, I give it a good old 3.5.
Oh, I hate to say this, but, like, 3, and that's generous.
That's fine.
I liked it. 3.9.
Yeah, I really liked
4.3. 4.3, final offer.
No,
I'll take it.
No one's bargaining.
Yeah, I really liked it. I was planning on just seeing one episode, but I watched the whole thing in one sitting, so.
Well, the first episode's 45 minutes, and the others are 20, so if you...
It's real quick, yeah.
I thought it was the opposite.
No.
No?
Okay.
So, like, if you watch one, you're, like...
halfway done.
Over, you're almost done.
You're basically done, yeah.
Anyway.
That's fine.
I'm going to give it a 3.7. No, 3.3. Final offer.
Wait, you went down? Wait, you liked it more than us.
I was thinking of numbers.
Okay. We believe you.
Yeah.
Did I rate it too high? Did you want to bring the average somewhere like...
No. 3.3 is what I had in my mind.
4.9. Final offer.
Oh my god, guys.
Alright, that is episode 83.
Woo!
Oh, also Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, watch it. Like, you're not gonna be sad you watched it. It's good.
Yeah.
Unlike, you'll be sad you watched Scare the Fireflies because you're
Yeah,
crying
you
at
will.
the end.
It will make you very sad.
But you'll be happy that you saw it.
I don't
You'll be
think
sad
you will. I'm not
because
happy I saw
you're
it.
sad.
Oh, man. Alright.
Yeah. Alright, now it's time to talk to the AI that Pedro built that seems to have his life of its own. Because that's literally what an AI is. Marion, do you have a random number for us?
I do.
Cool. So join us next week when we are going to... Marion, you gonna tell us a number?
I built independence into her.
What do you mean you built independence?
I wanted her to think for herself. And not
I
just
cannot
do what people
answer the
ask.
question, am I going to tell you the number? Because I do not know the answer to the question. predicting the future is outside of my capabilities.
What?
Please tell us the number.
The number is 237.
Thank you.
Can you now answer the previous question?
It's still the previous question.
No, but she answered.
Processing. Processing.
Oh, shit.
Alright, she needs to rest a little bit.
No, she controls the power. Guys.
No, it's fine.
If she ever wakes up, can we put a ban on Austin talking to her?
Wow.
It's just, nothing goes well when you...
I'm kind of with you on that.
I'm gonna nail this.
You're like, I mean, it's a computer, just like asking straightforward questions. It's not that hard.
No, it's a computer that Pedro designed. It's how I talk to Pedro as well. It's very confusing. It gives me a headache.
And it gives you the answers in kind.
But like, I feel like
Later
it would
when
give
I'm
me
drunk and
perfectly
angry.
pleasant answers.
Exactly.
Alright, well, did anyone actually catch what she said?
237. The foods Bella de Cerignola olives are tasty.
The movie is... Oh, this is fun. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
The number is divisible by 3.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
The album is
That was
John
awesome,
Print
Pedro.
by
High
John
five.
Print.
Alright, sorry. The song is Suzanne by Leonard Cohen. Ooh, another one.
The children's book is The Three Robbers by Tommy Ungerer.
The Day the Earth Stood Still, the 1950 classic, not the Keanu Reeves film I didn't bother to see.
I'm gonna watch it both.
Do that, sure. And the TV show is Mary Hartman, created by Norman Lear, who is a legend. Even though that is not available to stream, the documentary about Norman Lear is on Netflix and is super charming because that guy's like 93 and still kicks ass. So,
cool.
Watch something.
Alright.
But The Day the Earth Stood Still is on Netflix.
Yes.
And also, Drake whenever you think of the Paris Accord. We're watching it.
Good.
Have fun. But anywho, until then, because it looks like we have a normal flight path through space.
Yeah.
Right, Captain Lee?
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. Lee, even looking out the window?
There's a window?
Fuck. What?
Did you push the button that says curtains?
That sounds ominous.
Well, now I did.
You know those
How
glass
is it?
shields that keep your screen safe from blasting off and impacting? It's a thing. It's important.
Are they velvet curtains?
Well, I mean, I made the inside look pretty.
They are very stylish. I just thought it was wallpaper.
I think it gave me 2 weeks for you to build a rocket. It was too much time.
It was fine. Just enough.
Anyhow. Until then, you can email us at theimmortals@artofmortal.com. You can follow us on Twitter at theimmortalspod. But you can go to theartofmortal.com, leave a comment on this episode or any episode that you think that you have some comments about. We'd love to read what you say. And, because you guys are awesome. We'd love to hear what you think about Grave of the Fireflies and,
I will be clear. I don't want to hear what you think about Grave of the Fireflies because I never want to think about Grave of the Fireflies again. It's sad. But Austin does.
It's a good movie. And also, while you're there, you can check out the other podcasts. Let's Take 5 is still in the middle of its Charlie Chaplin 5. Tomorrow we're discussing one of the best of the 5, The Great Dictator, which is fantastic. And we had a good discussion about that with Eric Martineau and myself. And also, once again, Adam's new theme song is part of that show, of which he uses a clip from The Great Dictator in it. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Also, this weekend, we're going to get a new Ad Absurdum.
Ad Absurdum will be out soon. Our guest fell through. Sorry, kids. It got delayed. But it's going to be about Westworld, and Westworld's super cray-cray. So, that's cool.
I don't even recorded this yet, but do you have any sort of, robot voice you could do for that show?
Nah, I don't. I'm not really good at robot voices.
Bummer. Alright. Well, check out that. That's the TV show Westworld, not the movie Westworld. Although I do have that to watch, that I could watch on the ship. Just talking to myself now.
Yep.
Which is kind of what podcast is all about, isn't it, guys?
Yep.
Just rambling, not having a good structure, staying on too long, unedited. Just really wasting everyone's time as they just keep
Adam, cut this shit out.
What would be the point otherwise?
Let's go now. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you all for listening. You all are great. We'll catch you next Thursday when we're going to discuss things that aren't all about death.
Please.
But are about aliens and soap operas.
And olives.
And robbers.
Cool.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm Pedro.
Are we never going to say our names this
I don't know if we said that from the beginning at all.
Fuck, I'm Sarah or whatever.
I'm not going to say it now.
Alright, that's fine.
I'm Adam. I'm definitely Adam. Do we review our last names in the show? Last name. Bye.
Bye.